Hello, and this is my narrative speech. There once was a land, snuggled deep in a forest. This land had a king, who had grown wise and gray with age and much hardship. His wife had borne no sons, and their only daughter Sona was filled with rebellion and cruelty. When his wife, the lovely queen, had passed away, he felt he could no longer carry the land on his sagging shoulders, and with reluctance and many prayers, he announced that his daughter would take the throne on the next full moon. Sona rejoiced at her chance for greatness, and went to her personal magician in the dead of night to make a dangerous request. With her swirling long locks of ruby-red hair, her dark eyes glistened with ambition as she whispered, "O Riot, craft me a mirror." Riot, the magician, looked up from his workbench and peered with a puzzled look into the darkness of the cellar where he lived. You must understand that in that land mirrors were forbidden due to their magical abilities. Mirrors were associated with magic, and that magic was usually dangerous. "It shall be done, my lady," Riot responded gruffly, not daring to question her. His face vanished into shadow before he compressed the billows, causing a hidden furnace to flare. "As quickly as you can," Sona trilled, and fluttered back to her room with a titter of excitement. A few hours later, and her chamber door sounded with a rap, rap. In swept the magician, a rolling pedestal behind him, pulled by some unknown force, guided by his will. He wordlessly set it up and pulled the thin black sheet off its contents with an exaggerated bow. "Your mirror," he announced, and was gone with the click of the chamber door. Sona bounded forward and grasped the mirror with both hands, kissing its surface as though it were her only love. "Dearest mirror, how long I have waited for your honest voice! My parents did doubt my resolve, but I know that you will shine true. Show me my love. Show me the thing I wish to see the most, myself as I am and shall be." The mirror darkened, and the reflection of Sona began to change. The red of her hair spread across her face like a flame across paper. Her expectant smile turned into a hideous grin complete with a long serpentine tongue. Her dark eyes stretched into emerald diamonds, and her tiled skin was flawless even as her jaws stretched wide in hellish laughter. Sona recoiled, but the image didn't follow her. Instead, its hissing laughter turned into a mountainous voice that rumbled in deep tones through the room. "You called?" Sona tensed, her own bright lips curling into a snarl. "Demon, you aren't whom I summoned." The dragon looked faintly amused. "Did you not call upon your own image?" Sona's eyes narrowed for a moment. "I am no worm." The dragon threw back its head and roared with laughter once more. "Foolish mortal, we are one and the same. You are more worm than you give yourself credit for." The princess wouldn't have it. "You spew fumes of poison and fire. Your head is wreathed with bounty and hatred. Your claws tear flesh from bone, and your very presence makes the devil himself shudder." The scarlet-colored dragon lazily puffed two massive plumes of smoke from his nostrils. "And you, O princess, spew venomous words that burn the spirit. Once your head bears the crown, you also shall be sought after with malice and ill intent. Your hands do the work of evil creeping things. In your presence—" He stretched the syllables of the word with a slow hiss—"is pleasing to no one. Not even your father takes pride in the thing which hath sprung from his loins." Sona stamped her foot in rage. "How dare you speak to me like that? My people love me. They bow before my beauty. They worship me as you should, foul beast." The dragon rolled its eyes, blowing smoke rings from its ragged maw. "Two things, self-hailed princess. First of all, the sheep I eat do the exact same thing before I devour them. Poor meek creatures of meek spirit can do nothing else in the face of pure terror. Your subjects do not love you. They despise and fear you. And second of all, My name is Ergo. You may address me properly, unless you wish that I insult you back. Measure for measure. I have no qualms with that." Sona nearly collapsed as she boiled with rage. "If you were me, then your name would be Sona as well." "Ergo means therefore. I am you. Therefore I look like this." Ergo chuckled. And with a final shriek of hatred for all that she saw, Sona grabbed a porcelain vase from beside her bed and threw it at the mirror. And as the glass pieces, small diamonds of light, flew in every direction, the face of Ergo lingered, and as Sona screamed, Ergo roared back, their faces identical. Sona sat for the rest of the night among the shattered pieces of mirror. She sobbed, half in anger, half in remorse. She did not move until her ladies-in-waiting came to prepare her for the coronation. They stared at the mess, dumbfounded, until Sona lashed out at them as a group. "Don't just stand there! Clean it, you fools!" They scurried to do her bidding. She watched them with an arrogant smirk. Ergo wasn't real. It was Riot, the magician. He was playing tricks on her, to try and weaken her before the most important date of her life. Well, her first act as queen would be to have him hanged and be done with it. She stood with the same smirk as her mother's crown was placed upon her head. The crowd voiced a false cry of joy, and went home to prepare for the dark days ahead. And as the people began to flee away, Riot the magician studied Sona from the cover of the crowd and murmured under his breath, "So rises the Dragon Princess." And the moral of the story is that to find out who someone truly is, one must look beneath the skin to where the scales are.